Rajeev Chandrasekhar now on the phone line. Of course, he's a founder member of the BPL mobile company, a veteran of the telecom industry, and now a member of parliament as well. Thanks very much, Rajeev, for joining us on this show. Let me ask you the first question, the point you just heard perhaps of my colleague Siddharth Zarabi making, that the policy level decisions were actually taken at the highest level. At this point of time, the issue seems to be to kind of find out if DOT officials connived with certain telecom companies. But a policy decision of this kind where as far as the procedure to be adopted, the auction prices to be adopted were set at the highest level of government. How are you reading the developments of the last 2 days?
No, I mean, I don't want to comment on what is going on currently. That won't be proper for me to say. But look, Vivek, I have said this on many occasions, and I've spoken to you about it, I've spoken to many people about this in the past as well. This whole concept of giving licenses away without a process of auction started way back in 2001. And even in the bad days of Sukram, we still had a fig leaf of transparency, which is that licenses were awarded through a tendering process. It is in 2001, and then subsequent regulators' decisions try to regularize it and so on and so forth, have created this really dysfunctional process of giving licenses without any sort of a transparency in the process. Now, chickens are coming home to roost. It is an unsustainable argument to be giving our spectrum, which is a valuable commodity that belongs to the people in India, and giving it in these sweetheart deals. And this process started way back in 2001, and it's now playing itself out. In public domain, spectrum is good for a small amount of money, and then,
So what you're saying, Rajeev, is that 2001 we had a different government in power, and this time round we have a different government in power. So it's universal. It cuts across lines, the telecom sector, when it comes to lack of transparency related to spectrum. We seem to have lost that link with Rajeev Chandrasekhar. Rajeev, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Did you get my last question? I said you said
yes,
2001, which was a different government. Now we have a different government. So pretty much as far as this sector is concerned and spectrum is concerned, that entire issue of lack of transparency seems to be a perennial problem, right?
Yeah, that's exactly the point. I think it's high time that the government of the day set this whole process once and for all to rest and say, look, commodities and precious commodities like spectrum, minerals, whatever, we must have a policy that is transparent and that maximizes the value of that to the exchequer. That must be the objective. And unless you do that, you will always constantly run into these sweetheart deals, whether it is this government or this bureaucrat with another operator or done something 4 years ago with a regulator. So there is a need, the real message out of all this is there's a real need to fix this problem once and for all.
Well, hopefully, Rajeev, that fixing will actually take place with the 3G auction being conducted this time around. Two questions to you. Do you actually see a situation where we are actually going to see a paralysis in the Department of Telecommunications on account of what really is going on, decision-making coming to an end? Because really nobody will want to sign on the dotted line, especially as far as the 3G auction is concerned. And my second question to you is that if we are really looking at a sort of cleansing of the system in that sense, do you think the government will go as far as perhaps even cancelling some of the licenses, especially as far as the newer players were concerned?
Shireen, I won't comment on the cancelling and all that, because those are legal issues and I don't know the legal background to all of that. But, I suspect that what will happen is there will be a paralysis of this free giveaway. And that's what we want. That should stop. And the 3G auction is actually a good way of sending a signal that the government of India and is going to now award licenses and spectrum in a transparent, very clear, simple manner, which is through an auction and a tender. So if there is a paralysis, it must be, in my opinion, a paralysis of giving this stuff away free or giving it away cheap. And that is a good thing. That's a good kind of a paralysis. And we must move to a model where people find it much more comfortable to understand the transparency around the process.
All right, Rajeev Chandrasekhar, we certainly hope that we move towards the good kind of paralysis and not towards inaction. Many thanks for joining us on What's Hot this evening.